Hi, we are on lesson 29. Did you know there's only 30 lessons in our school year? So we are almost done. To start with, I want to go over the vocabulary words for this week. So let's just get started. Our words are search, contained, startled, odd, leaned, tossed, grateful, and village. Let's go ahead and read these together. Number 1, the word is search. It is fun to search for buried treasure. You never know what you will find. Number 2, contained. This old box contained jewels, coins, and other treasure. So contained is the same as holding something in them or having something in it. Number 3, the word is startled. The diver was startled to find treasure at the bottom of the ocean. So kind of like surprised. Number 4, the word is odd. Do you think it is odd or strange to look for buried treasure? Odd is like, there's the clue, the context clue is strange. Number 5, the woman leaned over to get a better view of the whale near the ship. See her leaning over? Number 6, tossed. They tossed the supplies into the trunk to pack for their vacation. It's kind of like throwing. Number 7, the word is grateful. The museum was very grateful or thankful to get the old statues. And number 8, the village is near the ocean. People find coins buried on the beach. So a village, kind of like Firth. We're kind of a village, aren't we? Okay. This is a traditional story, it says. It says, traditional stories have been told for many years. Long ago, stories were told aloud and then retold. Now, most stories are written down. People everywhere can read them. Traditional stories often are told to teach a lesson. So the story that we're going to read this week is called Two of Everything. And I want you to ask yourself when we're reading this, what good things happen when people work together? I think that's probably a clue as to what this story is about. And this version is written by Lily Toy Hong. And it's a traditional story, which could also be called a folktale, which is a story that is often told by people of a country. And it says, as you read, look for a simple plot that teaches a lesson, events that could not happen in real life. Because it is a folktale, there are going to be things that really can't happen, but we will definitely learn a lesson from this. So follow along. We are on page 487, Two of Everything. Once long ago, in a humble little hut, lived Mr. Hack-Tack and his wife, Mrs. Hack-Tack. They were old and very poor. Sorry, I had a sneeze. What little they ate came from their tiny garden. In a lucky year, when the harvest was plentiful, Mr. Hack-Tack had a little extra to take to the village. There he traded turnips, potatoes, and other vegetables for clothing, lamp oil, and fresh seeds. So where do Mr. and Mrs. Hack-Tack live? And what do they do each day? They live in a simple hut and grow their own food. And so they're probably really hard workers, aren't they? One spring morning when Mr. Hack-Tack was digging in his garden, his shovel struck something hard. Puzzled, he dug deeper into the dark ground until he came upon an ancient pot made of brass. "How odd," said Mr. Hack-Tack to himself, "to think that I have been digging here all these years and never came upon this pot before. I will take it home. Maybe Mrs. Hack-Tack can find some use for it." What does he discover in his garden? An old pot made of brass. He thinks it's a little strange because he's been digging there for so long. The pot was big and heavy for old Mr. Hack-Tack. As he stumbled along, his purse, which contained his last 5 gold coins, fell to the ground. He tossed it into the pot for safekeeping and staggered home. His wife greeted him at the door. "Dear husband, what a strange pot!" Mr. Hack-Tack explained how he found the pot. "I wonder what we can do with it," said Mrs. Hack-Tack. "It looks too large to cook in and too small to bathe in." As Mr. Hack-Tack leaned over to peer into the pot, her hairpin, the only one she owned, fell in. She felt around in the pot, and suddenly her eyes grew round with surprise. "Look!" she shouted. "I've pulled out 2 hairpins, exactly alike, and 2 purses, too." Sure enough, the purses were identical, and so were the hairpins. Inside each purse were 5 gold coins. So she had 1 hairpin, it fell into the pot, and then she had 2. Mr. Hack-Tack was so excited he jumped up and down. "Let's put my winter coat inside the pot. If we are lucky again, the pot will make 2 coats, and then we will both stay warm." So into the pot went 1 coat, and out came 2 coats. They began to search the house and quickly put more things into the magical pot. "If only we had some meat," wished Mr. Hack-Tack, "or fresh fruit, or 1 delicious sweet cake." What's happened to everything that's gone into the pot? It's doubled. Mrs. Hack-Tack smiled. "I know how we can get anything we want," she said. She put their 10 coins into 1 purse, then threw it into the pot. She pulled out 2 purses with 10 coins in each. "What a clever wife I have," cried Mr. Hack-Tack. "Each time we do this, we will have twice as much money as before." The Hack-Tacks worked late into the night, filling and emptying the pot until the floor was covered with coins. Morning came, and off went Mr. Hack-Tack with a long list of things to buy in the village. Instead of vegetables, his basket was full of gold coins. Mrs. Hack-Tack finished all of her chores and sat down to enjoy a cup of tea. She sipped her tea and admired the brass pot. Then, with a grateful heart, she knelt and embraced it. "Dear pot, I do not know where you came from, but you are my best friend." She stooped over the pot to look inside. So how has it changed their life so far? It's given them lots of money and the ability to buy things and enjoy things like a cup of tea. And they're thankful for that, aren't they? She's showing that she is thankful. And she's like, you're my best friend. At that moment, Mr. Hack-Tack returned. His arms were so full of packages that he had to kick the door open. Bang! Mrs. Hack-Tack was so startled that she lost her balance and fell head first into the pot. Mr. Hack-Tack ran over and grabbed his wife's legs. He pulled and tugged until she slid out onto the floor. But when he looked at the pot again, he gasped. 2 more legs were sticking straight out of it. Naturally, he took hold of the ankles and pulled. Out came a second person. She looked exactly like his wife. The new Mrs. Hack-Tack sat silently on the floor looking lost. But the first Mrs. Hack-Tack cried, "I am your one and only wife. Put that woman back into the pot right now." Mr. Hack-Tack yelled, "No! If I put her back, we will not have 2 women, but 3. 1 wife is enough for me." He backed away from his angry wife and tripped and fell head first into the pot himself. Both Mr. and Mrs. Hack-Tacks rushed to rescue him. Each grasped an ankle, and together they pulled him out. There were 2 more legs in the pot, so they pulled out the other Mr. Hack-Tack too. Just what use does one Mr. Hack-Tack have for another? Mr. Hack-Tack cried angrily. This pot is not as wonderful as we thought it to be. Now even our troubles are beginning to double. But his wife had been thinking while he was yelling. Why is he upset? He thinks that they're going to have twice as many problems. Calm down, she said. It is good that the other Mrs. Hack-Tack has her own Mr. Hack-Tack. Perhaps we will become best of friends. After all, we are so alike. He will be a brother to you, and she a sister to me. With our pot, we can make 2 of everything, so there will be plenty to go around. And that is what they did. The Hack-Tacks built 2 fine new homes. Each house had identical teapots, rice bowls, silk embroideries, and bamboo furniture. From the outside, the houses looked exactly alike, but there was one difference. Hidden in one house was a big brass pot. Of course, the Hack-Tacks were always very careful not to fall into it again. The new Hack-Tacks and the old Hack-Tacks did become good friends. The neighbors thought that the Hack-Tacks had grown so rich that they had decided to have 2 of everything, even themselves. Okay, so that's the end of our story for the week. I hope you come back and listen to it a couple times before you take the test on it. Also, I have a little secret to share. I hope your parents aren't listening. If your mom's listening, tell her to go away so I can talk to you a minute. Okay, on Sunday, it is a special holiday. It is Mother's Day. So in your weekly packet, I have given you an extra envelope that's for kids' eyes only. And when your mom's not looking, I want you to get into that and I made a purse for you to write information about your mom. So the job that you have for Mother's Day is to fill out all of the blank spaces. I've given you directions for that, and then you can maybe put it back in the envelope and decorate the envelope, and on Mother's Day you can give her that. So this week you have all week to work on it. I hope you take your time, write nice and neat, and do the best you can, because this is something your mom is going to keep forever.